Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about these Makita mowers. And right off the bat, what you're looking at over here is the non-self-propelled version. This is the XML07 PT1. Over here in the box still, XML08 PT1. Now, a couple of differences I noticed real quick. If you guys are spec watchers, just saw this was kind of interesting. My assumption with this was these mowers were exactly the same except for the self-propulsion, but I noticed something that's a little weird on here. If you look over here on the 08 PT1 self-propel, 21-inch blade, 22-inch deck, it says here. Well, over here, there's no such graphic. It says 21-inch commercial grade steel deck. So on this box, it just says commercial grade steel deck. It's kind of interesting saying that this is a 22-inch deck. This is a 21-inch deck. So I don't know, I might have to measure those. But as far as I know from all the specs and all the stuff I've read about these things, these are exactly the same except for the self-propulsion. So this model is non-self-propelled. That's going back to Home Depot today. The video is going to be about the self-propelled model. So I'm going to get this thing out of the box, get it put together, show you what you get. Here's how it comes in the box, neatly stacked. You got the side discharge chutes, you got the paperwork, warranty information, owner's manual, typical double Makita battery charger. And over there with the collection of them over here. Got a nice bag on it. Inside the bag is the box of the 2 sets of batteries. So this comes with 4 5-amp-hour batteries. This is what they look like here. So those got to go back to Home Depot. Those are the new ones that came with the kit. And you got your mower. So that's how it's packaged. So only assembly really is just to bolt the handle to the mower. I'll put some footage in here on how I did it on that one. They're both the same. We've got them both assembled here, and here's a good look underneath the 2 machines. That's the non-self-propelled version, the 07, and there's the self-propelled version, the 08, and you can see the drive motor right there. So go ahead and take a measurement here. Got 21.5 on the inside dimension and 22.5 on the outside. It matches this one. I already measured. Same thing. So must be just a misprint on the box. Little discrepancy there. So here we go. Here's the 2 beauties side by side, looking beautiful. This is Makita's commercial offering to the push mower community. You guys have heard, probably have seen already, Stanley Dirt Monkey's video, which I can't recommend enough. Go watch that video. He puts this thing through hell and back, and it just says what? Let's go. That's what sold me on it. So Stanley Dirt Monkey's video, absolutely watch that. And also Concord Carpenter, Toolbox Buzz. They did a review on all the cordless mowers, and Rob talks about how stout these things are. I'm lucky enough to have 2 of them here to do the video on, so I figured I'd kind of just poke out some of the differences real quick. So just looking up here at the handles, obviously, you know, it's not going to be much but the self-propulsion, but it's worth noting. So this is just the non-self-propelled model. No back lever here to propel it. Over here, got the throttle for the self-propulsion, and from what I understand, it's not really a throttle, it's just a switch, and the throttle is actually just preset over here, so faster, slower. Both have the fuel gauge up here on the top, there and there. And yeah, other than that, and the motor that I just showed you underneath, they are identical units. So the 07, remember, is the non-self-propelled commercial 22-inch deck, I guess you could call it, and the 08, identical to that, but just has the self-propulsion. Now they make one more model, oh shit, is it the 06, I think? That's got the narrower deck. I think it's an 18-inch cut. So that's the 3 commercial mowers. Solid steel deck, very impressed with it. It's very solid. It's very reminiscent of an old school steel deck. These machines are heavy. I would say, I think the box says they're 100 pounds. So it's pretty stout. They do have the nice grab handle up here, so you can give it a nice little curl. And I do want to note the non-self-propelled model, the 07, the ball bearings in these wheels are gorgeous. Like, this thing just wants to glide. It is not like, when you grab these, it is not like your run-of-the-mill big box store Toro or an MTD or anything. These things are built like tanks. So also these have a nice big long arm back here, nice tall handle. The consumer stuff is a little bit farther down here for shorter people, so this is way up here. Just something to note. The switch back here for the self-propulsion feels really stout. The blade engagement feels very stout. And the only thing, I said this when I did the video on the 07, the only thing I hate about this design, and I really think they could have figured this out better, and it's a minor, but I'm telling you, it's gonna annoy the crap out of me when I'm sweating my ass off trying to do battery swaps, is lifting up this lid. It does not want to stay open, and I got to pick out the bad with the good, but this is just a, come on, like, like, it's, if you got 4 batteries in your hand, you're trying to get this thing in, you're gonna have to set them down, hold this open, finagle them down. It's gonna want to, it wants to chop your hand off, so you need one hand free to hold this up. So I'm probably gonna rig some sort of a kickstand on this to keep it up. And I just checked, they're both like this. The 08's like that, and the 07 just wants to fall down. So that's kind of annoying. They both have the safety key, so mower won't run unless you put the safety key in there, which is good if you have kids or you got a crew. You want to keep them out of the mower. So, you know, I don't need to sit here and go through every little thing. If you want that, watch Toolbox Buzz, go to their website, or go to Stanley Dirt Monkey's video. Assembly time, how long does it take you to put in 6 screws? 5 minutes maybe. That's all you got to do. You're just basically putting in some screws here. I think I put a clip in already in the video, but that's all you got to do. Just bolt it on, clip the cables to the handle. So I'm gonna get this thing cutting, and I'm gonna tell you what I think of it once it's done, and then in 2 years I'm gonna do another video and tell you how it held up here in Florida. So let's get cutting. Before I get to cutting real quick, I want to point out, and I know there's a lot of videos that talk about this, height adjustment lever. It is one of the easiest adjustment levers I've ever used on a mower. I mean, if you're going from something that has individual adjusters on each wheels to this, I mean, watch this thing. Right now we're on a 1, just one-hand it. I'm holding the phone in the other, bam, lock it to wherever you want. All the way up, down. You could do gradual increments, and you don't have to be a super strong person to use it. You could just literally just adjust it, and it picks the whole system up in one shot. So that's nice. So to do this cut, I'm gonna start it off on a 4 out here on this rye and bahia grass, and I'm just gonna do some first-person mowing footage, and you guys can be the judge. Let me show you the yard. So this is the stuff we're gonna cut. A super overgrown mix of weeds, bahia, and some ryegrass. Let me show you the self-propulsion too on this. It's a gradual, I have it set on full speed. It doesn't just go balls to the wall fast when you pull the propeller down, so watch. So it kind of gradually steps up in speed, which is just something to note. Like the old school ones, you just hit the throttle and it's full speed all the time. I think that's a feature I'm gonna like and hate. Sometimes I just want it to go full fast, get myself out of a rut or something, but I'll get used to it. So let's get in here and start mowing. So you depress this button. Got a full battery here. you can see I've mowed some spots. This is real thick and not wet, but real thick. I want to note this. Got a big old clump. Started making a lot of racket under here. So clear some of this stuff out. Probably could have stood to cut this on a shorter setting. So if this is any testament of it, it just kept going though. So let's keep going. So here we got some real tall stuff. We're on height adjustment 4. You can see this stuff is almost, I would say 10.5 inches. So if you're gonna fire up on the wet stuff, or it's not wet, but the high stuff, this is one thing I don't like about it. Like it won't even, it just cuts out, it detects too much resistance. So So let's go ahead and throw the side discharge on this thing and then see if we can get a better cut. Side discharge mounted, and I'm doing this on purpose, guys. I know I can raise the cut. I know that. I want to see what this thing is capable of. Like, is it as powerful as the Honda push mower, the 6-horse? What can I throw at it? That's the point of this video. That's what you guys want to see too. So won't fire up in the wet stuff, and I keep saying wet, in the high stuff is a little wet. Back over that now. I know. Thanks, yeah. I'm doing a YouTube video on it. We'll see what people think.
Wow, you are?
Yeah.
Well, I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually. It's a good machine. So here's something to note here. I just did that pass, and all it did was just push this grass down. One thing I wish I would love to see on this mower, I know they're trying to conserve battery power. There needs to be another setting where it's basically flat out. It needs to be at that higher tip speed more consistently. The time it takes for the mower to go from its medium speed to high speed, honestly, it's just not, that transition time's not fast enough. I mean, you're gonna have to, if you got something, I'll give you an idea, about that tall, I don't have a tape measure to measure the blade height, but a lawn that's not been cut in a couple of sessions, it's going to give you challenges unless you want to do a high cut, go back and do a low cut. I'm purposely not doing that because I want to see, you know, I want to hear the motor transition from slow to fast. I want it to feel different situations. So the side discharge does an okay job. You guys saw it's not been bogged out, but if I reach my hand in here, it's not discharging as good as it should. Honestly, this thing could just use more power. Do I like it? Yeah, absolutely. Am I gonna let the yard get this long and crazy without cutting it? Usually not. So let's just keep mowing. I'm gonna keep the camera rolling. You guys can be the judge. See, it didn't start there because it's too high a grass. Oh yeah, for those of you wondering the battery levels, we got a low battery. You know what? Before I finish this, let me throw some fresh batteries in here. These should be tip top. All right, let's go throw these in the mower. So here again, this is what goes back to my point about I want this to be able to stay open. So I'm holding the camera on one hand. This is gonna wanna fall. You need to use your other hand. If you got 4 batteries, so if you got 2 batteries in one hand, 2 in the other, you're gonna be putting stuff down, just gonna slow you down. So that's one thing they can improve on. So we got fresh batteries, we're in bank 2, switch it over to bank 2, close that up. Check the fuel level, showing full on bank 2, so let's keep going here. I know I'm gonna piss some guys off with the height setting, I know it. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to put it through its paces. So let's turn this back on. Yeah, so also just to note, that does time out, and the time it takes you to go grab batteries and back, that'll time out, so you gotta turn that back on. Here it is on low, like it just kicked itself down to low speed. I'm gonna bring it right through this high portion here, and I wanna see how good it cuts. And I have the self-propulsion on just about that high, so let's see. So if we look at what it did, and this is just ryegrass, it just pushes it down. Definitely, like I keep saying a million times in this video, height setting, definitely bring the height up, because this is definitely not cut. This is just pushed down. So let's try the same setup. We got some real high stuff right here. Let's bring it back in for a nice pass here. We're on right in the mid levels here, so we're on 4. So let's bring it up to 6. Let's do a pass, see how good the cut is, see if it's even. I mean, there again, it just pushes it down. So, I'm still happy with it. Here's the difference between my channel and other people's channel, is that I'll pick out the bad and the good. I'm not gonna sit here and just send praise to Makita just because it's Makita blue and it runs off my platform. There's room to improve, 100%, especially if you don't have an ideal lawn, nice thick blades, you know, the perfect, pretty, beautiful, pristine properties that these people have with that nice thick floor tam. So let's keep mowing. I'll show you what I got to do to get it right. We'll bring it back down to 4 where it should be. I mean, I just feel like it should be cutting a little bit better than that. It really should. Now, I mean, maybe a sharper blade would help. But out of the box, come on, Makita. See right there, it took too long. It took too long on a slow self-propel to get itself up to speed when it got into something rough, which delivers a bad cut. It needs to run at high speed. I say sacrifice some of the battery time to get a better cut on the first pass, because what you're saving in battery time, you're going back and you're recutting it anyway. So what are you really saving? We got some high stuff here. Let's see, because right now it doesn't think the terrain's too bad, doesn't think the grass is too high, it's on low. Let's see how long it takes to get up to speed to cut that. So right here, I don't know how good the video's showing it, but right here is a perfect example where it took time to get up to speed till that tip speed got fast. You got to push down. So now what the mower just saved in time and battery power to keep the batteries at a full charge on a low speed, now I got to go back and recut it again. So they're not saving much, and there's no override on here to keep it at a high tip speed, just to keep it at a low tip speed. So I don't know. Make your own conclusion. So here we have messy yard number 2, which is my other little front patch of lawn, and it's a fair share of more crap. You got real tall rye, thick, just really overgrown, a real good mix of weeds everywhere, and a Makita that needs to have a faster tip speed. But let's see. Height setting 4. Check our fuel. Full batteries. Rock and roll. I'm gonna cut a straight line right through here. Did better on that. Again, where it had to throttle up, which is about right here. You have some pushover, so that'll constitute a repass if you're looking to get a good cut. There's the slice it made. So I'm gonna finish mowing this. I'm gonna give you my final thoughts on it, if you give a shit. I don't know, you might not, but let me finish this up. Something I wanna know here, I'm going around this tree, so the discharge is on the correct side, so it's not discharging out to the high side, and this side discharge just does not discharge. Especially if the stuff's a little bit moist, it's not even wet. It just doesn't have the power. Look, it just won't get out of there. I don't know. It's moist. It's not wet. Look, it's just a little moist. It's nothing. My Honda eats this stuff for breakfast. It's only 6 horse. And I wanted to say this thing destroys gas mowers. For the price they charge for them, it should just... I'll stop talking. Let me finish. So here's the current status, what it looks like from far away. I know this is a long video, guys, so bear with me here. I'm really just trying to do a proper video on this. I think too many people, I think too many people like to just, they see a brand name they love, which I love Makita, and they love to just say, oh, it's the best thing ever. Oh man, you gotta buy one. Oh my God, it's so commercial grade. I don't know. Definitely a good mower if your grass is about that much higher than it should be, but commercial grade, maybe as far as ruggedness, it does still have its share of plastic fantastic stuff on it. The deck's solid, but a big problem with this already is I was mowing and this plastic front end clipped the front of my pavers and made an awful loud sound. So that's just going to be a matter of time before a commercial guy busts the front of that off if they use it out in the field. Do I like it? Of course, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's a Makita. Technology's awesome. Runs off the batteries that my drill has. Absolutely. Do I think the cut's good? I don't know. I mean, my little residential push Honda for half the price of this thing can make this thing look like AstroTurf, this ryegrass. It always does. So I'm going to keep mowing. I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Let me finish up. Let me see how it is. I might take it out in the backyard, see how that goes too. So just keep watching. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have found this helpful so far, please consider subscribing. I'm not here to bash stuff. Just trying to put it through its paces and give you my honest feedback as I use it, instead of just going into it with the mindset of, hey, Makita gave this to me for free, so let me make sure that they sell more of this shit so I get more free stuff. I don't get this stuff for free. I spent almost $900 on this thing, so I'm going to give you my honest feedback. So let me keep going. Okay, another thing to note, and I hate picking out all the bad stuff, but some of you will appreciate this. I was just mowing. This just grazed against this palm tree and popped right off. So just something to note. It's cheapest design ever. I don't know about commercial grade, guys. I know it's clipped on there good. Oh man, something wrong here? No cameraman, this is raw as it gets. Yeah, it's on there right. Put that there. That just held down. Doesn't. It's weak as hell. Let's see. Well, I mean, the side discharge works if you don't bump it in anything. So nobody's perfect though. So I don't know. So what I'm doing now is going back through. I weed whacked everything. I just dropped the setting to a 3, and now I'm just going back through and remowing it to try to get that desired result. here's the cut after cumulatively probably going over it 4 times. Not bad. Let me go hit that side yard. I'll give you my final feedback. And I'm gonna put the final feedback in the front of the video to encourage you guys to actually watch the whole video so you can see the whole deal. Okay, so I told you I was gonna mix in the good with the bad. I'm on another set of batteries. So it's gone through 1 bank technically. And right here, I don't know if you can see the difference with the video, but this is where the mower is gonna shine. When you're just a little bit overdue for a grass cut, it does good. So this is maybe about 1 inch too high. So let's just run through it. Gotta put the good in with the bad, guys. I don't mean to bash it, but take the commercial grade label off the side of it. Especially just that shit with the side discharge that it did. Flimsy plastic stuff doesn't belong on commercial stuff. Commercial grade would also mean that you can keep the tip speed high, so you don't have to do repasses. So you can see there, now it's looking a little bit better. Let's blow it off. Step into the house Makita built. Oh, pick your weapon. Here's a finished lawn. Not the best lawn in the world. Ain't gonna win any awards. Just ryegrass and bahia, but not too bad with a little time. Now, you're watching this part of the video in the beginning because I'm going to give you my pros and cons. Why you should you buy it? Why should you buy it? Why should you avoid it? What my initial thoughts are on it, with it being a new machine, blah, blah, blah. Let's get down to it. So, overall feeling about it. Do I like it? Yes. Will I keep it? Yes. So should you buy one? Listen to this part. If you're buying this to solely replace a gas mower, or you're buying it to put this on the back of your mowing rig and you're going to use it as a finish mower only, meaning you don't have to cut much grass at all, and you're just trying to get that topped off look, 100% all day long, beautiful, runs off 18 volts, never have to buy gas again, it'll probably last for 10 years. Yeah, absolutely, it's Makita tough. Cons: if you're buying it to replace a gas mower and sometimes you let your grass get about 4 or 5 inches too tall, maybe you live in Florida and you just have nothing but weeds and crap grass, and you're looking for something that'll just really kick ass when you need it to, not the mower for you. The biggest problem with this mower is the variable tip speed, with it going down to slow mode and then back up to fast mode. It doesn't have enough power to even discharge even remotely moist grass, which means if your stuff's a little bit long, I'm almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now and the stuff's still not dried out and it's in the sun, you're gonna have problems with it. And if it's in the heat of the moment in the summer and you're sweating your ass off, don't bother. You're gonna get too pissed at it. Self-propel, do I like the gradual increase in speed where it steps up to its fastest speed? I don't like it. I would rather just have a set it and forget it. There's a reason why there's a setting there. So just make the throttle variable, like some of them. The setting should be, if it's on full fast, when you pull the trigger on full fast, it goes full fast. If you want to bring it back down to half, it goes half. Because people aren't going to sit there and slow down and mow and then go fast again when they're trying to use the self-propulsion to get themselves out of a rut or maybe on a turn or something like that. So I don't like that at all either. The battery tray, with it not staying up when you're charging up when you're putting batteries in it, is minor, but it's an annoyance. It's a pain in the neck. You have to put stuff down, pick stuff up, then you got dirty batteries and you're putting them in there. It defeats the purpose of the clamshell. I don't like that feature. The plastic fantastic stuff on the side here, like this discharge, is real flimsy. The side discharge chute itself is a joke. It's the farthest thing from commercial grade that I've seen, and it doesn't matter anyway because the mower doesn't have enough power to actually discharge any grass unless it's crispy dry and you know, a perfect scenario. But I know you guys aren't using these things in a perfect scenario, so I know these two little front yards, this is just, I think it's like 1,600 square foot total. I went through 2.5 batteries. So, you know, I think the settings and specs on the boxes are perfect world scenarios. And Makita is trying to get something out to market. I think the technology is beautiful. I can run this thing off the same batteries that I have everything Makita on. That's beautiful, but they need to throw, you know, 72 volts, or at least 72 volts down, or at least get this thing to run higher power. I mean, I don't know how you do it. I'm not an engineer, but it's gotta crank harder to churn through tough stuff and, you know, not make you have to backtrack. I know this video is going to be long. If you guys are watching this clip ahead of the whole video, it's a long video, but I try to take you through the process first person, not paid by Makita. Spent almost $900 on this thing myself, had super high hopes for it. Really wanted to say I can just get rid of my gas mower, but not the case. Other things I've noticed on this stuff, and you know, a lot of the Makita stuff is durable, but these plastics and stuff on the side, like these little detents and collars and all this stuff, I mean, you guys are in low trees, you know, you get limbs grabbing on some of this stuff, it's gonna crack. You know, plastic, I've been saying it since I was a kid, if it's plastic, it breaks. You can, you know, you could bet your ass, you know, this thin grade plastic stuff is definitely not gonna, it's just not, especially in a lawn trailer where they're getting banged on all the time. I know a lot of the good reviewers out there. I respect Dirt Monkey, I respect Toolbox Buzz, they do great reviews, but I think, you know, they may have keyed on some of this stuff. I think they did, but I'm not going to be so positive about this one. I'm really not. It needs work. It needs to go back to R&D, and they need to say, okay, for the residential guy that has a little bit, you know, above average lawn in terms of, you know, challenges, we need to make something that's just, that they can just kind of get more power out of. The height adjustment's awesome. The self-propel, when it finally gets up to speed, grips like a maniac on those tires. Those tires are nice, the rubber, but you know, the tip speed is the first problem. The self-propelled on, you know, its setting needs to be balls to the wall as soon as you pull the trigger, and they need to just figure out how to get more power on this thing to discharge the grass better, especially if it's a little bit wet. You know, I have a video on my channel, definitely not a Honda fanboy, but I have a video on my channel, How Tough Are Honda Lawnmowers. Go and watch that video. I was cutting grass literally in standing water with that thing, and it was cutting on the first pass. No problem at all, and it was on the lowest setting. I think almost the second to lowest setting. So gas motors just have that, you know, you don't need to variate the speed on them. They can really push down the horsepower where they have to. I also did a video on my channel, if you look back on it or do a search on it, K-E-E mower restoration. That's a true commercial lawn mower. It's almost 35-40 years old. That thing's a monster. That's what's in my, you know, that's what I'm basing my commercial grade on. They market this thing as commercial grade, but go back and look at an actual commercial machine, and Makita needs to go back and pull that label off of here. It's not commercial grade. It's definitely not, especially with all the plastic on this thing. So now, if you're at the end of the video, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if this helped you at all. If you're a Makita fanboy, I promise you I am too, but this one, if you do have one, please do a video on it. I'd like to see it. If you're starting a video off watching this clip, prepare yourself for, go get yourself a cup of coffee or a beer, sit down and watch the whole thing. I show all of it in here. How I go from high hopes to kind of dwindle a little bit. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Probably the longest video I've uploaded to YouTube, but definitely a good public service. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Consider subscribing. I'll get you in the next one. Later.